All right. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, everybody. I was sending out invitations frantically this morning saying, oh no, people need to know that we've got this cool webinar going on, and I know how life gets. We're all busy, and I wanted to make sure you could find some time to join us tonight. And I really appreciate you all being here. This is a big step in my journey, and I appreciate you being here with me on my journey. But tonight it's really all about you. It's not so much about me. And I need to figure out a little bit of my technology here, so I appreciate your patience as well. Okay, that's me. I'm Rosemary. If you haven't seen me in a while, that's me with my dog Gracie. And you know me. You know me as an author. I've written a book called Heal Together. It's a book of that expresses a deep passion of mine, a connection with animals and health, and knowing that our animals can bring their healing wisdom to us on our journey. Their paths are interwoven with ours in a very big way. I'm also a Reiki master of many modalities of Reiki, many lineages, as well as a practicing shaman. And I do want to start with a little disclaimer here, because sometimes conversation comes up that we sound like we're saying we healed or cured something. And I just want to say that this information expressed and presented through this webinar is not a substitute for medical care and is in no way meant to diagnose, prescribe, treat, or cure disease. It is also not religious, nor a prescription or recommendation for alternative care, but rather purely for personal knowledge and growth. There are a few terms we may use tonight or in subsequent webinars. I just wanted to mention those to you as well. We use the word healer, and the term healer is meant as a facilitator for helping to provide the opportunity and conditions through which people may heal themselves or receive awareness on how to do so. So when we say that somebody is a healer, of course, we're not, well, we kind of know what that means, but always we're facilitators for this, because only we can heal ourselves, only through our own interaction and agreement can we do this. Another term, medicine. The term medicine used in this presentation does not in any way refer to modern clinical or pharmacological treatments for disease. Medicine in this text refers to something that can help restore a state of harmony and peace. It can be an object, a skill, or knowledge, an intention, or a practice. So the term medicine does not refer to drugs, does not refer to something you can buy over the counter or get a prescription for. This refers to something that offers us the ability to restore a state of harmony and peace. Another term, magic. I like to say, what magic do you bring to your medicine? The term magic here does not refer to entertainment, deception, sleight of hand, or the use of spells or charms for manipulation of a desired outcome. Magic in this text refers to the gifts and talents we all have, divinely guided and used for the greatest and highest good. So what is your magic? We're going to be talking about our magic in another webinar, but I'm bringing it up now because I just love that word. I love it's an empowering word that helps people think about what they bring to the world. Greatest and highest good is our final term that we're going to talk about. And students who are on this call, students of ours, hear this a lot. The greatest and highest good refers to intentions that help guide us. These intentions help fortify our medicine, our practices, and knowledge, and do not necessarily divert death, trauma, or illness of anyone. Oftentimes when we are doing healing work or we are trying to help somebody and helping them feel better, or pray, when we're praying, we often will be thinking, oh, please don't let them die. Please don't, please fix this, right? And it really isn't up to us to do that. But we always ask for the greatest and highest good, for peace and harmony, for ease of transition, for health and well-being, those kinds of things. Tonight is really all about your story, and thank you for giving me a moment to go over the disclaimer and the terminology. Of the many people who have come to me over the years for healing or learning, some people are looking for answers, asking for clarity of purpose, or an indication that what they're feeling they should do is what they're doing. They want to know they're on the right path, or perhaps they want to know what their path truly is. They're looking for a path of fulfillment, joy, helping others, and utilizing their knowledge and skills to make a difference in the world. Often they feel blocked, misunderstood, or coming from a place of lack. They feel they have a gift, or perhaps someone has told them they are gifted. It might be a sense of intuitive knowing, or that their hands feel warm or tingly, yet they're also sensitive to the environment, other people's emotions, words, and perhaps even electronic equipment. Have you ever come across anybody, or perhaps you yourself, are sensitive to electronic equipment? Some people I know can't wear watches, for example. Now, especially in today's environment, people feel the stresses and pressures of political unrest. Deeply seated emotions reveal themselves in a larger way as anger, fear, aggression, and confusion. You might have been following the news. Various cities in the United States, for example, are having such confusion and turmoil and aggression. People are not happy with the political situation and are expressing themselves in that way. Now, the healers among us, that's you, have an opportunity to claim your abilities and power as healers in a world that needs loving support, peace, innate wisdom, and divine guidance. So this first webinar in the Healer's Journey series is intended to share a story with you and to invite you to share your story as well. Now, through the course of the next half an hour, I hope you'll resonate with some of the ideas presented here. Perhaps you'll discover that you really do have healing abilities and that you're not alone. Obviously, you're not alone. There are other people on this call tonight. In addition, I hope you'll want to move forward with your healing abilities and use them with more intention and purpose. Now, at the end of the presentation, I'll share with you a few tools to help you get started, as well as a chance to learn more. In addition, I'll be following up next week with another webinar in the Healer's Journey series to touch upon another aspect of what it means to be a healer in today's world and offer additional tools for you to integrate. And by the way, these webinars in this initial series, they're all free, and we'd just love for you to join in and be a part of that. There's always an opportunity to reach out for personal mentorship, supportive classes, or intuitively guided healing sessions, and I'll share with you how to do that at the end of this webinar. Now, a few things you should know. I guess you're already doing some of these things. I have the lines muted to leave out the background noise, and I really do want to hear from you. So when I open the lines, I'd love for you to take a moment to gather your thoughts and speak your truth. We talk about speaking your truth, what comes from the heart. and then provide an opportunity for interaction and hearing from the next person. Now, please feel free to speak your truth with kindness and compassion. Our webinar provides forum for growth and learning. It is not the place for an actual healing session, though healing and revelation may occur. And I'm going to keep track of the time. I want to make sure we are on time and not go over, because I just want to respect that part of your evening. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. So what I've got here is a little story that I've written, and it might feel like your story. It might feel like it, where some elements of the story are familiar to you. And I'd like you to reflect on any statements that resonate with you in some way. I've separated the story into sections so that you can add to it or change it to fit your story. Now, don't worry, if you've missed something, I'll send this story as a document to everyone who is registered for the webinar. And you'll also have an opportunity to share your story with others here today. Let's get started. Excuse me, let's get started. So I have a friend who sees something in me that I don't recognize in myself. She says I'm a healer. That comes as a bit of a surprise to me. I truthfully haven't thought about it at all, and even wonder what being a healer means. I understand my skills in my current and past employment. I'm good at knowing what to do. When people ask me for help, I'm always there to support them. Often, they pour their hearts out to me. I'm a good listener. In fact, they say they feel better when I give them a hug or even just rest my hands on them. I've experienced many health challenges, but as much as I try, I just don't feel healthy. I've also experienced trauma and stress. I know that weighs heavily on me in many ways. I've managed to swallow some feelings and memories just to survive, but I still face my past in my dreams, relationships, lack of self-worth, and fear of moving forward. However, I know there has to be more. Something natural, safer, less invasive, and more supportive. I know I have to look at a different way to heal and even take responsibility for my own healing. I'm open to natural alternatives like massage, acupuncture, Reiki, and naturopathic medicine for support. I feel like I'm waking up and trusting my inner knowledge more and more. Maybe I really am a healer. It's an interesting journey for me. I'm growing, evolving, and noticing that I have intuitive abilities. But I can't tell anybody about it. My family and friends don't really understand me. Being in nature helps me feel whole. I care deeply about our planet and worry about pollution, careless use of resources, endangered animals, and the disappearance of the rainforest. So that was an example of a story that I wanted to share with you. And you might have found some elements in there. I have this picture up because it's just a beautiful picture. It shows that connection that we have with animals, that pure love, the giving and receiving. And I would say this person is a healer just by knowing that. I'm going to see about opening the lines up here because I'd like to hear from you in just a moment about what you thought about this story, and perhaps you're like me and didn't recognize the healer in yourself. There was a person years ago who told me that I was a healer, and I really didn't even think about it until much later. So you might not be aware of the signs. Are you sensitive? Do you have an uncanny relationship with animals? Do your hands tingle? Do people always come to you with their problems? And these are a few indicators that you are a healer. Now, I invite you to see yourself in a new light. Tell me about how you can recognize the signs that indicate you are a healer. What's your journey? So if you would like to unmute yourself, or I can unmute all the lines. You can mute yourself. Okay, so I unmuted everybody, and if you would like to mute your line, you could *6 if you're on the phone, or just hit that little microphone picture if you're online. And I would just want to open it up and say, take a moment now to share a few thoughts about your experiences. Tell me about how you can recognize the signs that indicate you are a healer. Anybody?
Oh, this is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Yes,
Hi.
Thank you.
So I heard a lot of things that you said in your story really resonated with me. I've always been a very good listener. I have felt a lot of stress recently, just feeling the lack of self-worth, and speaking my truth is very frightening to me. And I feel like I meant to do something that involves healing with my hands, and I just don't have a clear direction yet for that. I've always had just this knowing, that I just know things, especially since I was a child. And I've been told that I'm an empath, but I'm looking to learn about Reiki, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I hear that a lot of the elements in that story resonated with you, from speaking your truth and kind of having that empathic feeling. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah. So have you been able to share any of these experiences with friends and family?
No, I really don't feel like I feel like they would think that I was like weird or
yeah. So maybe I shouldn't call this the healer's journey. Maybe I should call it something else. You can probably come up with another name. We fondly refer to the work we do as a little bit off the beaten path, but really this path was the beaten path, wasn't it? Years ago, before modern technology steered people in a different direction.
True, very true.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you stepping forward to share a part of your story, and would love to know more from you. Is there anybody else who would like to contribute their experiences or ask a question?
Hi, this is Marcy. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Marcy. Hi.
I feel a lot like Sarah did, growing up being a little bit odd. And as an adult, I didn't understand, but I guess I have a sensitivity to vibrations. I can hear air conditioner unit vibrating a room or two over. Just odd things like that that's happened to me. I went into a meditation once, and I could hear the heart murmur and the girl next door, or not next door, but sitting next to me. So some oddities like that. But I guess that's just tuning into just different frequencies vibrationally, I guess. I'm not sure.
There you go.
A bit odd.
There you go. You are tuning into different vibrations, different frequencies, and it's not odd to you, right? This is normal to you, right? And it's maybe odd to somebody else. So let's just shift the word that you're using a little bit and say, this is normal for me. Yeah?
It is normal, yes. I feel like it's annoying for other people because I'll be like, you have to stop that noise.
Oh, okay. Well, Marcy, I'll just share with you, you know my daughter Michelle, of course, and Michelle was like that when she was a baby. She was very much, very sensitive to sound, and even now and even still, and now we know why, of course, because she is so intuitive that she has tuned in to the vibration of what other people can't hear. You know, like the dogs in this picture, dogs can hear a different frequency, right, than we do? Yeah? That's their normal.
It's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, so that's their normal. Wonderful. Thank you, Marcy, for sharing that. Is there anybody else who'd like to share something? Or ask a question.
So this is Brianna.
Hi, Brianna.
Hi. And I mean, all of these.
One second, Brianna. I wanted to ask people who are not speaking if they could just mute themselves because we're picking up some background noise, maybe a cafe or something, okay? Yeah, thank you. Okay, Brianna, go ahead.
So I just wanted to share, like, I feel the exact same way as the other two folks that have spoken, but I have to say that I have come further since taking the initial shaman class with you and Michelle. And being more accepting of a gift, of having this gift, and wanting to go further with it. And I have been doing that through with stones, but I also I have a lot of animals, and I work a lot with animals and a lot of rehab animals, and they seem to really respond to me, and going to like hugging people. I tend to hug people. People come to my office because I've set it up into a welcoming place. And people will ask, "Oh, can I just come in your office and sit?" Now, mind you, I'm a scientist in my in my day job. So there's been some inner conflict with that, of the science side of it, of the, if you can't see it, touch it, feel it, sort of that rigid science part. But I've been really opening up and have done a lot of reading, the biology of belief, and a lot of different books, and just trying to inform myself more. And I think that I'm growing more.
Excellent. And you mentioned a very good resource, The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton is an excellent book for anybody who's interested in that connection between science and metaphysics, science and energy. I love that book, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Was there anything else you wanted to add? Oh, but I had that question. What about your? You said your job is science-y. Tell me about that. What's going on?
Oh, well, I work in a scientific field. I work in a research field.
Okay.
But it's related with it's in the fisheries and wildlife. So my animal connection.
I see.
Again, But I work with a lot of researchers, and that if you can't see it, feel it, touch it, those thinkers. And I've really started studying different thinkers, which has also helped me be able to communicate with others better. And being okay with this is me. I mean, I'm kind of late in life figuring that out, but, I was, she's a little bit weird. She's a little bit odd kid.
We get that a lot.
Yeah, and you feel, you feel like an outcast. And now that I'm finding that as I'm growing with this, I'm actually attracting more people who have these similar things that we start to talk. And I thought, oh, man, I thought I was the only one that thought that way. And, my family doesn't know this because they think that I'm weird. And it's just like, you're not weird.
Exactly. That affirmation of I am normal, as with Marcy, her normal is a little different than other people's normals. And it might be, Brianna, it might be, and Marcy and everybody else who's contributed or expressed their thoughts tonight, it might be that this is the new normal. And we are getting used to the new normal before others are getting used to the new normal. They may have that ability in themselves too, but perhaps there's some fear that they have of speaking their truth. Perhaps there's an ability that they haven't recognized. Maybe somebody hasn't really brought it to their attention yet, or maybe they want to fit in more than they want to lead or be different. So these are all really valid expressions. I love that you're working in a scientific field as well as doing your energy work. That means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the whole world that you're doing that. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Brianna.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to share a few thoughts on this story or their experience? I'll give you a moment. Was there something that stood out to you about being able to be who you really are in every situation?
I have a question for Brianna, and it may be I'm not sure. I just have a question for Brianna. Because as you know, Rosemary, I also was in fisheries research, and I often think about the sampling that we did and just the specimens that, of course, especially when we're sampling and it's 100 degrees outside and we lose a lot of specimens. And I've been troubled recently with the energetic trade-off of that.
That's really interesting because I haven't really thought about that. I do have to say that at times I do struggle with, I have these inner struggles with my profession and, how should I say, ethics, or are we doing the right things? For me and the research that I'm doing, I'm working on an endangered species, and so I feel good about the work that I'm doing, and I'm working on adult fish, and they're spawning salmon, they're dying, we're taking biological information. I have struggled when I have assisted with juvenile work because they are compromising, and in fact, that's something that I just won't do anymore. And it's hard to tell people. It is hard to say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable doing that, but I'm fortunate in my position that I'm working towards a goal of recovering of a species, and I'm not compromising their being in the name of research.
Yeah, that's an interesting viewpoint, Brianna. And Marcy, I would like to add something to that. As you know, my background is biology. I was a biology teacher for many years, and you know what we do in biology class, right? There's a lot of dissections, a lot of that kind of research where animals have been sacrificed to educate children, educate students, and for my own learning as well, coming up through my college education and practice and teaching, in stepping forward to know that. And when I look back on those times, okay, I guess I had a wall up around me for a while there. I wasn't sensitive like I am now to what was going on. I feel that the energy exchange for me was what I learned, because now, because of what I learned, because of my intimate knowledge with the functioning of an animal's body, the human body, an intimate knowledge of the physiology of plants and animals, an intimate knowledge of the scientific point of view, I feel much more rounded and balanced to actually step into my healing work. I feel that those animals and plants have become a part of me to do the work that I am meant to do. And so I would say I understand how you're feeling, especially as specimens are sacrificed during that hot weather. Offer blessings to them in honoring them to step forward in this work that is supporting you on your path, because you do have a contract for being here. You do have a contract for how you present yourself in the world and the knowledge that you bring to the world. So how you're feeling about it now absolutely does matter. So send blessings to it and honor it. Does that help?
Yes. It's a struggle that's been on my mind, because I think I did put a wall up then. So
yeah, I know that wall.
And I agree 100% with what Rosemary's saying about give blessings, because I do that when I'm out, even doing my work with spawning dying salmon and blessing them for, giving us, their life and refreshing the nutrients back into the stream. Now, mind you, I'm not, I do this all internally, and I give blessings. I give blessings to the animals that I feed to wildlife rehab animals that I work with, because obviously raptors have to eat meat, and so we have meat, and so I sit there and say a little prayer. Sorry, little mouse, but you're going to be food and provide nutrients for this wonderful raptor that can be released, and that helps me a lot.
And it helps the mouse, and it helps the raptor, and it helps everything else that benefits as part of that cycle. So these are wonderful observations. I'm just noting the time here. I have a few slides to finish up, and I'll explain to you what's going to happen here at the end, but I'm just going to go ahead. Unless somebody has something really urgent they want to say, I'm going to be muting the lines. Does anybody else want to chime in before I mute the lines? Okay, then I will mute the lines. Okay. Thank you so much for contributing. That means a lot to me. It feels like a verification to me that this topic, this webinar, is very pertinent for people I know, people I've connected with, and thank you for being here. So what I'd like to say now is about your personal journey. Your personal journey begins, of course, with discovering your gifts and talents, your healing abilities. Your shamanic ancestry shows in the suffering and trauma you've survived to reach the point of emergence. So now you're ready to hone your skills and grow into the healer you were meant to be. Now, you don't have to do this alone. We have a community here, and you have a community with me and with my daughter, Michelle, as we are out there in the world teaching classes and connecting with people. Now, sometimes it's hard to know where to begin. Now, you may be like Brianna and Marcy, who've taken the class, and other people who are on the call who've taken the class. Or maybe you set aside time to meditate. These are great ways to begin. Now, as a follow-up and a thank you to being on the webinar tonight, I'm going to be sending out an exercise to each participant. And if you don't receive one of these, please let me know. The best way to reach me is to go to my website. It's secondnaturehealing.com. secondnaturehealing.com. Of course, you can always email me, Rosemary at secondnaturehealing.com. Now, when you go to my website, if you're not on my newsletter, go ahead and get on my newsletter, because occasionally I'll write some inspiring articles. I'll post them in a blog, and I'll send you a link to that, so you can have that way to connect and learn and grow. That's the whole mission, is to learn and grow, and now share. We have a way to share. And do this. Go ahead to my website, to the calendar, and take a look at the upcoming schedule of classes and workshops. And you can register for any of those that are coming up. In fact, big announcement, my daughter and I are securing space in the new year at a studio in the Goose Hollow area of Portland, and that is that's going to offer us a more consistent schedule, a larger space. Brianna, when you were here, you were participating in the shamanic classes, and you discovered how limited our space was. Well, we're going to be able to open that up. We're really excited about that. And you'll be able to see what we have for offering for classes. And if you are at all interested in growing and learning some of the things that we have developed over the years as Reiki masters and practicing shamans, then you'll want to be a part of that curriculum. And you'll be able to see all of that on our calendar. We're very excited about that. Now, next week, we're going to do this again on Monday evening. We're going to have a few things coming up. I'll give you a little preview of what's coming up. You'll be given opportunities to identify your gifts and talents and work with your gifts and talents to strengthen your healing abilities. And I'll share tools with you that can be used to help protect your energy, ground you, and intensify your feeling of safety. Also, you'll learn ways to improve your intuitive nature and develop your psychic abilities, and you'll develop a sense of confidence and competence that comes with knowing who you are. So I'll just be the one to tell you, if nobody's told you, you are a healer. And I love that you are on this path. I love that you are waking up and beginning to utilize some of these tools that you are learning. This, by the way, is a picture of our space. If you're online, you'll be able to see that's Vibrant Studios, where we're going to be holding our classes. And just want to say, you can continue with listening to the webinar. I sent out a lot of individual emails, but the best way to make sure you're on the list is to go to secondnaturehealing.com/webinar.html, and that is going to provide you with a place to add your name to the list so that you will be invited to these webinars. And thank you so much for being here tonight. And I'm going to see if I can open up the lines again and just allow everybody to say goodbye. Okay, we are over and out. If you'd like to say goodbye or anything else, please do so, and we'll be turning off.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. This is Brianna.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're so welcome. Thank you. Have a good night and a very happy Thanksgiving. Will you please join us again on Monday evening next week?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.